Hello, everyone, and welcome to All Things Politics. Let's get right to this. Jesse Jackson has passed away. The Reverend Jesse Jackson was born in 1941 and he passed away 2026, this day in February. He was a towering American civil rights as well as human rights leader, politician, and Baptist minister. He rose to prominence alongside Dr. Martin Luther King. He was also known for his Rainbow Coalition philosophy, advocating for the poor and minorities and running historic barrier breaking campaigns for the Democratic presidential nomination in 1984 as well as in 1988. Again, he was a civil rights activist. He began his work in the 1960s, I think, working with the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the SCLC, and later founding Operation Push, all right, and the Rainbow/Push Coalition to advance economic development and social justice. His political impact in the 80s started with his presidential bids. They proved that a Black candidate could run a serious national campaign, paving the way for future politicians like Barack Obama. Um, as far as his diplomacy and action is known, or it was known as he was known as a passionate orator and mediator. He negotiated the release of hostages and prisoners in several international crises. Um, his legacy, they say, is recognized as a prominent civil rights leader who bridged the era of Dr. King with modern advocacy focused on voting rights, corporate equity, and supporting the marginalized. Jesse Jackson, again, has died February 17th, 2026, at the age of 84. That being said, we here at All Things Politics, we trust that information, especially when it's disseminated to the masses, the people, it should be correct. It should be unapologetic, and it should serve the people in terms of the information they get and how they're able to use it or how it can be used to benefit them. It's an educational process, if you ask us here at All Things Politics. We have a clip, but before we get to that clip to share some of what's going on, especially in mainstream media on this issue of the passing of Jesse Jackson, we would like to ask that you like, share, comment, and subscribe to All Things Politics. Your viewership and participation with this channel and in its growth means a great deal to us. All right. Without further ado, let's check out this clip we will provide for you. And this clip is courtesy of Live Now. Okay.
Leader and activist, Reverend Jesse Jackson, has died at the age of 84. We know this based on a statement from his family overnight. Now, the Reverend was a protege of Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. and a two-time presidential candidate who led the civil rights movement for decades after the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. His daughter confirmed that Jackson died at home surrounded by his family. As a young organizer in Chicago, Jackson was called to meet with MLK Jr. at the Lorraine Motel in Memphis shortly before King was killed, and he publicly positioned himself thereafter as King's successor. Jackson led a lifetime of crusades in the United States and abroad, advocating for the poor and underrepresented on issues from voting rights and job opportunities to education and health care. He scored diplomatic victories with world leaders, and through his coalition, he channeled cries for Black pride and self-determination into corporate boardrooms, pressuring executives to make America a more open and equitable society. I do want to showcase here on your screen the statement from his family overnight. It is a bit small, but I do want to read it to you in full. As they say this, it is with profound sadness that we announce the passing of civil rights leader and founder of the Rainbow Push Coalition, the Honorable Reverend Jesse Louis Jackson Sr. He died peacefully on Tuesday morning, surrounded by his family. His unwavering commitment to justice, equality, and human rights helped shape a global movement for freedom and dignity. A tireless change agent, he elevated the voices of the voiceless, from his presidential campaigns in the 1980s to mobilizing millions to register to vote, leaving an undeniable mark on history. Reverend Jackson is survived by his wife, their children, and grandchildren. He was preceded in death by his mother and his stepfather. And then they say this quote, "Our father was a servant leader, not only to our family, but to the oppressed, the voiceless, and the overlooked around the world. We shared him with the world, and in return, the world became part of our extended family. His unwavering belief in justice, equality, and love uplifted millions, and we ask you to honor his memory by continuing the fight for the values he lived by." Public observances will be held in Chicago, but final arrangements for a Jackson Celebration of Life services, including all public events, will be released by the Rainbow Push Coalition. And they do include their website at rainbowpush.org and also jessejacksonlegacy.com. So it truly is a sad day when we talk about the historic value that Jesse Jackson had, especially when it comes to those civil rights movements. Going back to some more reporting here, Jackson's voice, infused with the stirring cadences and powerful insistence of the Black church, demanded attention. On the campaign trail and elsewhere, he used rhyming slogans such as "hope, not dope," and "if my mind can conceive it and my heart can believe it, then I can achieve it." That is to deliver his message. And I am referencing some reporting courtesy of the Associated Press here. Jackson did have his share of critics, both within and outside the Black community. Some considered him a grandstander, too eager to seek out the spotlight. Looking back on his life and legacy, Jackson told the Associated Press back in 2011 that he felt blessed to be able to continue the service of other leaders before him and to lay a foundation for those to come.
Okay, that being said, I want to jump in here right quick and uh, say a thing or two about what we recall growing up about Jesse Jackson. Some of us saw him as an opportunist. That's not to discredit or take away whatever he helped to bring to the table for the betterment or empowerment of the Black communities nationwide. A lot thought that most of what he done or what he did was for himself. A lot thought that he hadn't done enough. It came to a point where Jesse Jackson, if you can recall, had lost the support of the Black community on a grand scale, honestly. And he's not the only one that this sentiment would befall on. There are others just like him, some still living, who are looked at in the Black community as selfish politicians, people who say a lot but do very little for the communities they are supposed to represent. There was a lot of questionable things that went on in Jesse Jackson's life, a lot of business contacts with shady individuals, allegedly mob figures, things of that nature. Jesse Jackson, for a lot of us, he did not pan out to be the man and leader, the Black man, Black leader. A lot of us hoped that he would. In light of his passing, this channel, we don't want to say anything that would tarnish, the impression others have of him, being that impression may be something good or needed or he did for the Black community. We do want to send our condolences to his family, and hope that this moment, they'll find in this moment solace, just thinking back on their memories of Jesse Jackson. There was a lot of controversy around him, certain racial remarks he made, none of which I have issue or take issue with. But again, there is the thought that Jesse Jackson should have done more for the people before his passing. Whether or not this is a loss the Black community will feel, or whether or not the passing of Jesse Jackson will affect the Black community to a degree that will show, in the years to come, remains to be seen. Again, this is, for some, I'm pretty sure, a pretty sad time to lose such an icon as it is said he was. Jesse Jackson, again, he was a civil rights, and I also attach human rights leader to his resume, because I think he did push for human rights as much as he did for civil rights. His passing, I'm pretty sure, will be felt, the nation and, worldwide. Again, though, for some of us, we just hoped that leaders like himself, especially before their passing, would have done more, will do more for the people, more for the people than they do themselves. Jesse Jackson died today, February 17th, 2026. We want to commemorate those things that he did for the people that are readily known, seen, and or experience. We reap the experience or the benefit of what he done for the people. Again, Jesse Jackson dead at the age of 84. And we send our condolences to him and his family. If you have any comments in regards to the passing of Jesse Jackson, as well as what his political life was like or how you saw it, be it just doing those things that probably did help the community in more ways than a lot of us can point to, or if what Jesse Jackson represented throughout his political career was something you did not agree with, or you saw as shady, corrupt, or whatever the case may be. We would appreciate your comments on this channel, All Things Politics 26. Again, the passing of Jesse Jackson this day, February 17, 2026. Peace and blessings to his family. This is All Things Politics. We would like your viewership. We would like your participation in, what we bring to social media. What we bring is informative, sometimes opinionated, as well as educational. But we do it for the people. And so we ask that the people support this channel so that we could continue to bring more informative and educational issues sprinkled here and there with opinion. All right. Take care of yourselves and each other.